जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जन। यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जन। यमुनातीरा यमुनातीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जनावल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जनावल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन। यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन। यमुनातीरा वनचारी। यमुनातीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन। यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन। यमुनातीरा वनचारी। यमुनातीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा गोपी जना वल्लभा राधा गोपी जना वल्लभा। जय निताय पतिता पावन गौरा हरि मेरी प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद। जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र His Divine Grace अभय चरण नारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र His Divine Grace शिष्य भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरि भाष ठाकुर की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीवा गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ चर गोस्वामी प्रभुगण की जय। प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा गोपी जन वल्लभा गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की जय। मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय, पुरुषोत्तम चित्त श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, श्री एक चक्र धाम की जय, गंगा मैया यमुना मैया की जय, भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to lotus feet of Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Agyantimirandhasya ज्ञानञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वंशकल्पातरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं भंगुं लंघयते गिरिं, यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं। परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 31, verse number 20. सोऽहं वसन्नपि विबुबुः दुःखवासं गर्भान्नदे गमिषे बहिरन्धकूपं कूपे यत्रोपयातम् उपसर्पति देवमाया मिथ्या मतेर्य अनुसंसृति चक्रमेतत्। सोऽहं वसन्नपि विभो बहुदुःखवासं गर्भाननिर्जी गमिषे बहिरन्धकूपे यत्रोपयातम् उपसर्पति देवमाया मिथ्या मतेर्य अनुसंसृति चक्र में बहुदुःखवासं गर्भाननिर्जीगमिषे बहिरन्धकूपे यत्रोपयातम् उपसर्पति देवमाया मिथ्या मते यदनुसंसृति चक्र में तम एतत्। Api, although Vibhu, O Lord, Bahudukha, with many miseries, Vasam, in a condition, Garbhat, from the abdomen, Na, not, Nirji, Gamishe, I want to depart, Bahi, outside, Andhakupe, in the blind well, Yatra, where, Upayatam, one who goes there, Upasarpati, she captures, Deva Maya, the external energy of the Lord. Mithya, false. Mati, identification. Mithya-mati. Yat, which Maya, Anu, according to some Sriti of continual birth and death. Chakram, cycle. Etat, this. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada teacher. Therefore, my Lord, although I am living in a terrible condition, I do not wish to depart from my mother's abdomen to fall again into the blind well of materialistic life. Once again, therefore, my Lord, although I am living in a terrible condition, I do not wish to depart from my mother's abdomen to fall again into the blind well of materialistic life. Andhakupe. Your external energy, Deva Maya, called Deva Maya, at once captures the newly born child, and immediately false identification, which is the beginning of the cycle of continual birth and death, begins. So we are reading from Teachings of Lord Kapila. These two chapters I was recently contemplating that they are excellent chapters, both of them. These two chapters describe the journey of a jiva, the journey of the soul. Many people are interested to hear about the journey of a living entity. And these two chapters describe chapter number 19 and chapter number 20. Chapter number 19 begins with um, after taking birth. From the birth it starts. After taking birth, which is a painful experience, and then how the living entity becomes engaged in many sinful activities and how he suffers in various ways in this material existence. And then after that, how he is passed on under the jurisdiction of Yamaraj to suffer the various sinful activities he has performed. And then this chapter begins with how, after going through many animal species, again he is pushed into the womb of a mother. And when this is the prayers at the 10th month, last to last was described when the child is 10 months old. So apparently it seems like in that time, 5,000 years back, it was common for a child to come out after 10 months or so. And the child is ready to come out of the womb of a mother and he's declining to come out. This child is in a pure state of consciousness. Now, that does not mean that the child has no anarthas. The child has his own karma, his own desires, his own anarthas. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsar, everything else is there in the child, but that is an unmanifested. When the child becomes 5 or so, then all this remembrance comes back. One again becomes absorbed in the external energy of the Lord and desires. Of course, material desires are the remembrance comes from the Lord, whatever he desires from his previous life. And external energy facilitates. But right now, the external energy is not acting on this jiva. And this jiva is apparently in a pure state of consciousness. And he is very, very attracted by the 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 mood of bhakti, because it is natural for the soul to have devotion, mood of bhakti. So the child is very, very satisfied, and he is in a very miserable condition, um, like a hunchback or like a curved bow. And then he is pushed by from various um, um, a womb, like in the womb, he is pushed from various directions, and he is into terrible suffering. And in spite of this terrible suffering, he doesn't want to go out. And he's telling the Lord, my Lord, although I am living in a terrible condition, Prabhupada describes a grown-up man cannot even stay for a few moments in such a state of suffering. And he himself is telling to the Lord, although I am living in a terrible condition, I do not wish to depart from the mother's abdomen and fall again into the andhakupe, blind well of materialistic life. And basically, I do not want to leave this place, because although I am suffering, I am very satisfied in your remembrance. This also gives us a hint of how um, the pure devotee, although they may be in a very deep state of suffering, they they are still very satisfied. In one of the discussion, we were discussing about happiness. Some students, some youth program, were discussing about happiness, and then one person asked, it was a difficult question. He said, "Are you happy?" And then I was discussing that, well, devotees may not be happy. I'm telling about pure devotees, not about myself. I told him that devotees may not be happy all the time, but devotees are fulfilled. The right word to use is fulfilled. This child is not happy. This child is miserable. Like we see so many spiritual masters, like our the biggest example is His Holiness Jayapadaka Swami Maharaj. The body is giving trouble, external difficulties are there, pain is there, but internal fulfillment is also there. Another example I was remembering is Bhakti Tirth Maharaj. External suffering is there. His leg was cut off, um, and amputated, and so many difficulties. He could not walk. Difficulties were there. But then Maharaj is telling, I don't want to trade this condition of mine with any other living entity, because this is what it doesn't get any better. This is the best situation I can be in. And this child in a pure state of consciousness, he says, although I'm living in a terrible condition, I do not want to go from here. Let me suffer here, okay? I do not want to go, because the moment I go, Maya will capture me. And then I will forget you. And then if I forget you, then I will lose what I have here. I don't want to lose what I have. I will become absorbed in material life, material relationships, material desires. And forgetting you, I will work, and that is only andhakoop. Andhakoop means blind well. Blind well, because nothing. If you go into andhakoop, nothing is visible. Likewise, when a living entity gets into this body, he forgets everything. His relationship with Krishna, the path of bhakti and devotion. That's why we say Om Agyantimirandhasya. We are all born in ignorance. We are not born thinking, yes, I am part and parcel of Krishna. Today we are reading a quote from Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada says, complete self-realization is to know our Swarup. It is called Swarup Siddhi. I thought of this quote is very difficult or very high words, very high quote of Prabhupada. There are quote of the day, and today's was the highest perfection of self-realization is to know our Swarup. So the living entity is not born with this understanding. He is born in ignorance, and the spiritual master opened my eyes with a torchlight of knowledge. That is called second birth. And the child is in a realized state. He said, my Lord, I am suffering, but I do not wish to go out. Very, I am upset. I want to stay here only. This also shows that how a pure devotee of Lord, what kind of fear a pure devotee of Lord has from Maya. Right now, I mean, he doesn't want to depart from his womb. He is very satisfied in his remembrance of Krishna. And we are now totally living in Maya. And then we don't want to go back to spiritual world. Or we are fully absorbed in our fulfilling and chasing after our material desires. I mean, I'm talking only about myself. So this is the power. And that's why the child knew this is going to happen. And I'll become completely absorbed. So I don't want to depart from here. Let me suffer, but I don't want to depart. Another beautiful example of Sukadev Goswami. After 10 months, Sukadev Goswami is telling, I will not go out. He was in the womb, no capture of Maya. He was fully relishing his mode of devotion to the divine, to Lord Narayan, fully satisfied in his complete remembrance, the stage of Samadhi. This child is completely in Samadhi, in a completely pure consciousness. Sukadeva Goswami was relishing that state, although he was in a suffering state externally, and he did not come out for 16 years. Srila Prabhupada it mentions in the purport 16 years. Why? The moment I come out, Maya will capture. No, no, no. I am in a terrible condition, but I don't wish to depart from here because Maya will capture. That shows how much fear Sukadeva Goswami has for Maya. How much fear all of us, when we were in the womb, did we have for Maya. But when we come out, it's okay. I mean, we become used to it. Um, I was thinking, I mean, I should not say this, but very long back, I mean, obviously before I came to Krishna consciousness, in a movie, a person was put in a Kalkotri and it's like a jail, and the person does not even have the free will to go out or see the sun. And he was in a miserable confined, and he was in a miserable condition. So likewise, when we come out, we are confined by the three modes. Prabhupada says, what is a prison? A prison is one when you are forced to do what the constables, police, or jail manager, what they want you to do, you are forced to do that. And likewise, when Maya captures us, then we are forced to do what the three modes. And the illusory energy of the Lord is very, very powerful. We will see um, after the child comes out of the womb. This particular chapter is going with the first Kapila Muni describes the development of the embryo. How what happens after day 1, day 3, day 7, 2 months, like the development of the child. And then um, Kapila Muni describes about the suffering of the child within the womb. And after how terribly he is suffering, when that is described, then the next section describes what the living entity is praying. And we are in the second last verse of that section. Next verse is the last verse of what he is praying, that I don't wish to depart. This is one of the last prayers he mentions. And then Kapila Muni describes how he is pushed out and he forgets everything. And then he becomes captured by the external energy of the Lord. And then as he grows, the illusory energy again fully controls and captures. So I do not wish to depart from my mother's abdomen to fall again into the blind well of materialistic life. Your external energy called Deva Maya at once captures. Srila Prabhupada mentions why it is called Deva Maya. It is Maya, but it is called Deva Maya. Deva Maya because she is an she is an energy of the Lord. So she has connection with the Lord because she's the shadow. So she's the energy. That's why it's called Deva Maya. But it refers to the external energy. Your external energy called Deva Maya at once captures the newly born child and immediately false identification, which is the beginning of the cycle of continual birth and death begins. False identification is the beginning of samsara, samsriti, purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As long as the child is within the womb of his mother, he is in a very precarious and horrible condition of life. But the benefit is that he revives pure consciousness of his relationship with the Supreme Lord and prays for deliverance. So Prabhupada, he's in a horrible condition. Very precarious means intense, miserable situation. But there is one benefit. When the child is in the womb, he revives pure consciousness of his relationship with the divine. Um, he understands, he is self-realized, at least at that point of time. That is the benefit in the womb. But once he is outside the abdomen, when a child is born, Maya or the illusory energy is so strong that he is immediately overpowered into considering his body to be his self. And then naturally, a living entity is pleasure seeker. He is always looking for pleasure. And when he comes out, he identifies himself because of false ego. He identifies himself with the body. And now he is trying to seek pleasure at the level of body. And that becomes the cause of his karma and misery. Because every happiness, he संस्पर्श चाप होगा दुख, and then his dukha starts. Maya or the illusory energy is so strong that he is immediately overpowered into considering his body to be self. And how long does it take? Moment the child comes out, immediately he is Chapatiyadhare. Immediately he is captured by illusory energy and he becomes absorbed in the bodily conception of life. Maya means illusion. Um, illusion, we all understand. Illusion means or that which is not. Identification with the body is illusion and that which is not. That is because of the influence of Maya. In the material world, everyone is identifying with his body. And we as practicing devotees also cannot say, I mean, some of you can may be able to say, but I cannot say that we don't identify with the body. We fully identify with the body. Um, and we have a strong influence of illusion on our mind. In the material world, everyone is identifying with this body. This false egoistic consciousness of I am this body at once develops after the child comes out of the womb. The mother and other relatives are awaiting the child. And as soon as he is born, the mother feeds him and everyone takes care of him. The mother, the father, they are captured fully by the modes of material nature. And they are waiting the child. Child, you also come into the existence of Maya. Please come. The child said, I don't want to come. I'm very happy. Every child says like that. I'm miserable condition, but I'm in complete remembrance. As soon as I come out, like you both are thinking about both of your false identity, I will also have another false identity as your son and daughter, and I will also be captured by me. I don't want to come out, but ultimately he is forced. This is one greatness about Sukadev Goswami. Sukadev Goswami personally received the confirmation from Krishna that Maya will not capture him. Krishna, Sukadev Goswami from the womb, Vyasadeva is telling Sukadev, Sukadev, my dear Sukha, child, come out. Sukha said, no, I won't come out. If I come out, I know Maya will capture. I won't come out. Then Vyasadeva said, what will it take for us to bring you out? Then Sukha said, only if Krishna comes and promises that if I come out, Maya will lose his jurisdiction and Maya will never touch me. Then only I will come out. So Vyasadeva went and requested Krishna. So Krishna came. Krishna told Sukha, you come out, and I assure you that Maya will not never capture you. And then Sukha comes out. And when Sukha comes out, Sukha has no desire, Sukha has no attachment. Sukha is completely free from the influence of Maya. Sukadev Goswami never experienced Maya in his life. That's why we are hearing from Sukadev Goswami. Everything he's like transcended. It's like, that's just like Vishnu. He comes in this world and he is never touched by Maya. Even Brahma and Shiva, they say we are touched by the illusory energy of the Lord. But Sukadev Goswami is that personality. Just like Lord Vishnu, he came and he lived in this world. He walked in this world, he spoke in this world, he interacted with the elements of this world, but he was never touched by Maya. So I was thinking, what a greatness of Sukadev Goswami. And that's why Sukadev Goswami is so self-realized. So many times I wonder, what a consciousness Sukadev Goswami for writing this Bhagavatam, for speaking this Bhagavatam. How complex all the prayers by Gajendra, all such complex prayers by Shruti, by Devatas, by Brahma, by Kunti, such details he is mentioning. Everything is just flowing. I mean, there is many other scriptures he also spoke. There is conversation of Sukadev Goswami even in Devi Puran and others also. But of course, this is the essence of all the scriptures. But Sukadev Goswami could understand, he could understand the universal cosmic manifestation, the structure. He knows everything. Sukadev Goswami. Maya never touched him and he sees things as they are. So then we can also understand that what a pure knowledge we are receiving from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Sukadev Goswami can understand everything about the journey of the living entity, about the different hellish planets, what happens. He just knows everything. past, present, future. So the mother and other relatives are waiting for the child. They are completely captured and they are waiting when my child will come. And the child comes, loses his relationship with the Lord, and becomes one in the consciousness, in a way, completely captured by the illusory energy. The mother and other relatives are awaiting the child, and as soon as he is born, the mother feeds him, and everyone takes care of him. Hey, you are my mother, you are my son, and I am your father, and I am your mother. And I'm your chacha and mama and taya and all these things. And the child says, yes, 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 this is who I am, completely captured by me. The living entity soon forgets his position and becomes entangled in bodily relationships. And soon what happens? He forgets what he was praying and becomes entangled in bodily relationship. We will see the last part, probably 10 to 15 words, only about um, um, how Maya captures through the association of opposite sex. Speaks about both ways, how the man is attracted to woman and how the woman is attracted to man. Prabhupada says because of this attachment between opposite sex, Prabhupada says that's the biggest force of Maya that keeps us in this world. Because one forgets one's relationship with Krishna. And if one is not trying to please Krishna, then one is trying to please somebody else in this world. One is not, one forgets how to love Krishna. Now one is trying somebody to love in this world. Radheshyam Prabhu says misdirected love. And we are also not free from the three modes. So three modes, three modes capture us. What a struggle it is to live in this world and to try to go back to God. What a struggle it is. Because the three modes is completely trying to degrade us. And we are trying to push ourselves to go to Krishna. And the child knew all this struggle will come. The child says, मैं तो बाहर नहीं आऊंगा. I'm not going to come out. Because ultimately, there is a whole struggle for existence. There is a whole struggle to, it's like going against the wind. Everyone is agent of illusory energy. And everyone, the whole world actually, I mean, how many devotees? It's a blessing if we say in devotee association. But everything is trying to drag us down, drag us down, drag us down. So many allurements this material world offers. And that's why it is said, keep yourself busy in serving Krishna. Have sharpened intellect. How much effort is required now to come out of this? How natural it is to be remain degraded in this world. How much effort to consciously read, see through the eyes of scriptures, keep hearing. Why we have to do so much sadhana bhakti? Because Maya is very strong. She's capturing us inside her grips 24 hours. She doesn't even leave us when we are sleeping. When we are awake, when we are sleeping, anytime she never leaves us. And now we are trying to either engage in chanting or serving or outreach activities of distributing books or Sankirtan or um, somehow or other Shravana, lot of some hearing, and somehow or other trying to push ourselves to remain within Krishna's zone. How much effort is required to put in that direction? Obviously, if somebody is not putting that effort, they don't even realize they are being dragged down and down and down and down and down. And even if there is little, if the heart becomes little pure, still there is a strong force just capturing us down. Prabhupada also says that we all should have healthy fear of Maya. How cautious Prabhupada was. Prabhupada says, I'm constantly praying to Krishna, Krishna, please protect me from your illusory energy. This is, Senapati of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is setting his own example. And he is praying, Prabhupada says, because I'm always praying to Krishna. Krishna, please protect me from your illusory energy. So, how much conscious effort it requires, how much sharpened intellect it requires, and that itself come by Tivrena Bhakti Yogina. Trying, effort. We have to push, we have to push, we have to push, we have to push, we have to push. The living entity soon forgets his position and becomes entangled in bodily relationship. The entire material existence is entanglement in this bodily conception of life. Real knowledge means to develop the consciousness I am not this body. I am spirit soul and an eternal part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. We remember I am a body, I am a spirit soul, I am eternal part and parcel of Krishna when we hear it, when we read it, when we discuss it. Otherwise, when the illusionary energy captures them, then we don't say I'm this body, but we act on the platform that I'm this body. Act on a platform called Seego. So this, I mean, it's a fact actually. Real knowledge entails renunciation. Those who actually develop real knowledge. And what is Prabhupada says real knowledge? Real knowledge means to develop the consciousness and not this body. It's not to be aware. It's like to develop means to realize that I'm not. And how do we realize that? To the extent we realize our relationship with Krishna, to that extent we realize we're not this body. Till that time, it is. Um, we have to keep on trying, keep on trying. So once we develop the real knowledge or the real realization, that entails renunciation, and naturally one will be renounced from the activities of this world. It is not that it is not possible. Naturally, the path itself is very powerful. Bhakti is very powerful. Krishna says, having come to this world, just always remember me and become my devotee. This is what is needed. Real knowledge entails renunciation or non-acceptance of this body as the self. And by the influence of Maya, the external energy, one forgets everything just after birth. Therefore, the child is praying that he prefers to remain within the womb rather than to come out. It is said that Sukadeva Goswami, on this consideration, remained for 16 years within the womb of his mother. He did not want to be entangled in false bodily identification. After cultivating such knowledge within the womb of his mother, he came out at the end of 16 years and immediately left home so that he might not be captured by the influence of Maya. As soon as Sukadeva Goswami came, Sukadeva Goswami was like, I don't want to become entangled. Vyasadeva says, my dear child, I'm your father. Sukadeva Goswami says, sir, that's why I was not coming out. I'm not what you are thinking I am. Vyasadeva is also self-realized. But Sukadeva Goswami says, I am not staying here. Here Vyasadeva says, my dear child, Sukha, just now you came, where are you running? He's running behind Sukha. Sukha there is like, please leave me. I don't belong to this world. This much careful Sukadev Goswami. Sukadev Goswami, Krishna told him, I will not capture you. But Sukadev Goswami is still extremely careful. But then when he heard Srimad Bhagavatam, he was like, oh, this is amazing. Srimad Bhagavatam is amazing. The glories of the Lord, Prahlad Maharaj, wow. Where is it coming from? Vyasadeva. Coming from Vyasadeva. So for the spiritual relationship and that divinity of Bhagavatam, that brought him back. So and immediately left home so that he might not be captured by the influence of Maya. And how careful Sukadeva Goswami. And he's also we all have to push ourselves. Lord Krishna gives example in second chapter Bhagavad Gita. One who is in divine consciousness He withdraws his senses like a tortoise. The moment there is danger, the senses perceive some danger. The tortoise like careful. If we are not careful, certainly either we are self-realized or we don't know what we are getting into. Or we are just not cautious and we are just being dragged, becoming an instrument of illusory energy of the Lord. That's one has to be very careful. Padam padam yati padam natesham. There is danger at every step, there is danger in this material world. And one, it's not like, हंसते खेलते भक्ति करते रहेंगे, everything is nice. No, this material world is not nice. This material world is there to engross us, to capture us. If you're not careful, Maya is very careful. If you're not careful to stay away from her, she is very careful to bring us to her. She is very sharp. She knows our weak points. She knows how to capture. What is the hook? And that will capture this person, this person, this person. I'll give him that what he wants. We actually hardly come out of the illusory energy. Either mode of passion in the form of um, um, name and fame, um, in some subtle form. Yesterday we discussed about hypocrisy. In some form, with a mode of passion captures us, mode of ignorance captures us, or Sattvagun makes us feel very good, makes us feel I'm in knowledge. The influence of Maya is also explained in Bhagavad Gita as insurmountable. Krishna is telling Maya is insurmountable. Insurmountable means insurmountable. Krishna says, Mama Maya Duratyaya. So Prabhupada describes Maya as insurmountable. But insurmountable Maya can be overcome simply by Krishna consciousness. And that's why we are pushing ourselves into Krishna consciousness. We are trying to keep ourselves engaged in one of the Navavida Bhakti, 9 ways of devotional service. That is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Ma mevayi prapadyante maya metam taranti. Whoever surrenders onto the lotus feet of Krishna can get out of this false conception of life. Krishna says, Arjuna, having come to this world, just engage in my devotional service, surrender everything, just surrender and give up all varieties of dharma and just surrender onto him because Krishna said this is the only way Maya will loosen its grip on us. But every step is a danger. Padam padam yadvi padam matesha. But one who takes shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna can overcome. Whoever surrenders on the lotus feet of Krishna can get out of this false conception of life. By the influence of Maya only, one forgets his eternal relationship with Krishna and identifies himself with the body and the byproducts of the body, namely my wife, my children, my society, my friendship, my love, and thus he becomes a victim of the influence of Maya. And his materialistic life of continued birth and death becomes still more stringent. And the more one becomes entangled, the more his cycle of birth and death continue, like becomes more and more. He becomes more and more bound in the sums, in the cycle of birth and death. Okay, so that's all I would like to discuss today. If there is some discussion we can have now.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you
Then,
for the wonderful class, Prabhu. I personally like the point when you talked about happiness and fulfillment. The pure devotee may not be happy, but he has fulfillment. Um, that was a very beautiful point. One should aspire for actually. I like that point, and especially you talking about Sukadev Goswami. How much
mm,
he was worried about Maya, even Srila Prabhupada's example. I was thinking maybe before going to the sleep or waking up, I should really pray, please keep me away from the illusory energy, though I'm engaged throughout the day. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
thank you for every moment she is being. Yeah, but one thing I was recently reading and discussing, and it was very beautiful to understand. It says that, just in 1 minute I will say, from three modes comes Mahatattva, from Mahatattva comes Ahankar, from Ahankar in Tamogod comes sound, from sound comes sky, from sky come from form come air, from air come taste, from taste come water, from water come um, smell, from smell come earth. So as they are coming, subtler than earth is water, subtler than water is air, subtler than air, subtler than water is fire, subtler than fire is air, subtler than air is ether, subtler than ether is ego, subtler than ego is Mahatattva. Nobody can see, nobody can smell, nobody can perceive. And subtler than Mahatattva is three modes. Why I said all this thing is almost impossible to perceive how three modes are capturing us. When we take up the path of bhakti, after a long time, we realize how ego is acting in our life. What to speak about um, understanding Mahatattva is super subtle that we cannot understand, and subtler than that is three modes. So we cannot really understand how three modes act on us till we become completely self-realized on us on the level of Atma and Paramatma. Three modes we cannot see in our life. When we can't even really distinguish most of the time we cannot even distinguish between us and the mind, and we identify with the mind and Maya captures. We act on false ego and Maya captures. What to speak about understanding the subtlety of three modes? Sometimes we see three modes, but that's like, the example is given like a streak of light we see, and then so that's how we can see like few moments we see, oh, this is this mode acting on me, but it is very, very subtle and is very, very difficult to perceive it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rosie.
Hey Krishna Prabhuji,
That
Ranatram.
was nice.
Prabhuji, two things. First, I'll ask about this last point that you mentioned just now about the three modes. Prabhuji, we don't understand how the three modes are acting on us, how they are acting, but we do realize, right, that the modes are acting on us. Like, or is it our mind only tricking us when, like, sometimes how our japa goes very nice, and then we realize, okay, I'm feeling happy with my japa, so probably I am not so much in tamogun at this point of time, or is it my mind tricking me?
Well, we understand some. That's why I said once in a while we see the three modes. But okay, that time we understand. But then we are at work and we are dealing and we are talking so many times the three modes are acting we don't even see. Sometime when we come to a state of divine consciousness, then we'll be able to perceive. When we go beyond three modes temporarily for like getting complete touch with Krishna, we can perceive that time. But when we are below the zone of three modes, then three modes are acting and we don't perceive it. They are so subtle. How much strength they have on how much longer time throughout the 24 hours is very deep actually. Did I answer Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, that stage to
Yeah.
realize that that beyond stage, yes, it's a long journey, Prabhuji. Second thing, Prabhuji, thank you so much. It was a very nice class. The point that I really liked was how you mentioned about Maya. We have to be cautious about it. And I was trying to relate the same, like every moment she is acting, and how much intelligence it's required on our end, and how much surrender from our end is required, because we cannot overcome her. So the example of Prabhupada always praying, Shukdev Goswami at such an elevated stall, still not coming out. And same thing I was trying to relate, Prabhuji. Every soul, like from the start of the prayers, wants to come out. Prays, right? I want to come out. I'm in such a bad situation, such a bad situation. Finally, coming to the 20th verse, the soul starts praying, I don't even want to come out. So
Mm.
even at the pure soul at that level who has not been captured by Maya takes such a long time to realize that after coming out, I will be caught again. So I was just thinking, this is so difficult, Prabhuji. It's next to impossible only.
Same here. It seems like wow to see. Yes, that's why we are pushing ourselves, trying to push ourselves, trying to keep ourselves busy because every step she's there. She's there at any moment. She will capture us.
Yeah. How Maharaj says, right? Um, Free time is not an opulence, it is danger. So
Mhm.
the same
Mother,
thing
it's
goes.
a curse.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very nice class today.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat, Srila Prabhu.
Never, never. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada.
Prabhu, I had two questions. The first one I want to understand is if you can elaborate uh, Sukadeva Goswami's mood in going away from Maya. I'm just trying to understand. If the shelter is the Lord, then in that context, I'm trying to understand. And like, if the shelter is the Lord and if everything is, then where is the fear of Maya? It's like, it shouldn't be there, right?
Mother, then why would Srila Prabhupada say, Krishna, please protect me all the time?
Hmm. I feel that is more for us than for him.
Huh? Say again?
I feel it is more for us than him. It is
No,
more
actually,
for us to set an example rather than for him. For him, he's always under that shelter. He's always there. So it is, because I'm trying to understand and also connect to that, right? When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes to South India and he meets the Brahmana, not the Brahmana, what's the Brahmana that who sees the Bhagavad Gita and who sees that picture. Like sometimes, like I'm not an intellectual person. I don't understand the intellectual aspect of the material world, and I struggled a lot. So for me, I feel like in those pastimes or in those instances, I find much more safer, and rather than this is more, I feel that's more fear or more stricter way versus than that. I want to understand it and I want to see if my thought process is right or not. Do I make sense?
thank you, Mataji. It should be both. One thing
Hmm.
Prabhupada says, one of the problem with my disciples is they don't have healthy fear of Maya. Then
Oh,
Lord Krishna also says, Prabhupada says healthy fear. Lord Krishna also says a person in mode of goodness understands what is to be feared, what is not to be feared.
okay.
So fear should be there, fear of displeasing devotees, fear of
Hmm.
their healthy fear. They should
Mhm.
be there because we are living in this world. And if we are free, okay, but we are not free.
Hmm.
And we are living and we are not free. If
Okay.
we are not careful, she captures us, and afterwards we realize, oh, um,
Prabhuji, can you repeat that one more time? You said free. I just missed.
can you say a few words before and after that you missed?
You said you're free, but you are.
Yeah, I mean, if we are free, then okay. I mean, if you're free from Maya, if you're completely on the liberatory platform, good. Congratulations. But there also, they are very cautious. It is seen. I mean, we can say that Srila Prabhupada was setting an example, which is true also, that he was setting an example, but he's still very careful. And this devotee, I mean, Prabhupada is with all his disciples. And Prabhupada is on a transcendental platform, but Prabhupada also is going in front of the Lord. He is with so many thousands of young boys and young girls, they are his disciples. And Prabhupada is completely in between them, pushing on the moment. And then he is going in pain in front of Radha Krishna. Krishna, please protect me from your leisurely image. we hear that even in bhava stage, illusory energy can act, from example of Bharat Maharaj. So it is very difficult. The thing, the drive will be there. I mean, we are not talking about Srila Prabhupada, but Srila Prabhupada, Sukadev Goswami liberated platforms, but they also have fear. Otherwise, Sukadev Goswami can be like, yes, now I'm free. Now I don't need to worry. You call me my son, I'm okay with that. Anything now, nothing will touch. Sukadev Goswami is still very fearful. He's like, Arey, run away from me here. He's calling me my son. I'm nobody's son. Just started running. My dear son, Sukha, where are you going? He just complete, just running only. And they are our teachers. Sukadev Goswami is our teacher. Srila Prabhupada is our teacher. Basically, we have to be cautious. And Mataji, you are saying that you may not, this doesn't um, synchronize with you, but actually you are cautious. Otherwise, you would not have been come this far the way you are now. We all are cautious. Otherwise, that's why we are avoiding following four regular principles, trying to follow regular principles strictly. That's a sign of caution. When we see something, immediately the intelligence says this is not good for me. So caution is always there. And the more we progress, caution becomes more, actually. Because danger is there. A danger is there everywhere. When Bhagavatam says danger is there, danger is there.
So, to relate it to that question of praying to Maya, I'm just struggling there, Babu. Do I really like, if praying to the the spiritual master, praying to Krishna, I'm not able to connect or relate? If you can give some pointer or some way to see that. But
You
I'm
mean
not able to relate to that prayer of praying to Maya.
No,
I know
no,
she's the energy of the Lord, but still I'm not able to connect. So I just want to understand that more.
we are not praying to Maya Mataji. We are praying to Krishna to protect us from Maya.
Okay, now it makes because okay.
Maybe I misspoke something, but yes.
No, because yeah, I think I misheard it, because you just there was this thing like Prabhupada would pray, or his prayer was to Krishna. Then I misunderstood as maybe his prayer was to Maya. Okay, I get it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I guess we can end here. If I spoke anything wrong or a little more strong, please forgive me as a humble servant. Vanchakalpata rupesha, kripa sindhu vacha, patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Ananta Koti Vaishnavendra ki jai, Srila Prabhupada. Dhanva pranams Prabhuji's Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Shayamanand Krishna Prabhu ji. Thank you so much.
Jai.
Ananta
Thank
Koti
you,
Vaishnavendra.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.